Alright, we made it home. Uh, actually, I've been home for about 4 hours, but actually, no, not about, I guess that long, yeah, 4 hours. Yeah, it's 8 o'clock now. I got home about 4:30. Um, sorry. So, I went over the car, didn't see any scratches or anything like that on it, so they did a good job there. The only thing that's on it that's kind of bothering me is these little, I was just checking my oil and all that kind of stuff because it has sat for a while. You gotta see this, but it almost looks like rust. See that right there? It comes off a little bit, but there's a little mark left over. Almost, I don't know what the hell that is. Look at that. I mean, I don't know what it looks just like rust, but it comes off. So I don't know if it was parked under a tree or what that is. But anyways, yeah, so basically, being up here against the car ran fine. I did not get up on it. I wanted to, but I'm gonna wait at least, I'm at least gonna wait like 300 miles before I actually kind of like full throttle it or anything like that. I'm not sure. I had a new clutch in my old car. I really didn't wait, but I'm not saying you have to. I know some people say you have to. I mean, I'm not gonna like dump it or anything like that from a dig. So maybe that's what they're talking about. But just to be safe, I'm gonna put another. I drove about 100 miles home, so, and then they probably drove it about 15 miles test driving it. Not sure how much I said on the video earlier, but all said and done, the dealership is a very good dealership. North Subaru Orlando is very good. The girl there is really good. I was impressed with the manager. I wish I would have talked to him earlier. I honestly think this whole mix-up was just the mechanic that was working on my car. I don't think he thought that it was an issue when I brought it back with the noise about 3-4 weeks ago, right after they replaced the steering rack, and I brought it back a couple days later with that whole swirling noise. I don't think he heard it, or if he did hear it, I don't think he thought it was a concern, because he is trying to say that he heard a noise in the back. I misunderstood him. I guess I thought he meant the front, but the grease that he put on a month ago was somewhere in the back with the control arm. So I've never even spoke to him. It was a different mechanic that came out, but from talking to the manager, he put grease on the back. So he basically was concerned about some noise. Okay, I'm kind of jumping around. So basically, the car went back and they replaced the racking again. The racking was the fault. They were telling me that the noise was still there. I thought they meant the noise with the steering wheel back and forth. But that noise was gone, and it is gone after they replaced the racking the second time. So the first racking they replaced was defective. So this is the third racking I had on my car. So when they kept on saying the noise is still there, they meant the noise in the rear. I don't know what they're talking about. I haven't heard anything. I drove 100 miles home. I didn't hear any noise. I don't know if he had the windows down and he's turning real slow, hearing something. I mean, the car is noisy all the time anyway, so he's probably not used to it. But that's why it sat there so long, is because he couldn't get that noise figured out. And then, like I said, the manager called me this morning telling me that they were chasing a ghost, or this guy Nate was chasing a ghost. I guess the manager got in the car, and he basically told the mechanic all he's hearing is the brakes. Like, when you have the brakes, he's depressing the brakes and turning, and like at a slow speed, he can hear like a little, kind of like a little squeaky noise. I think I know what they're talking about. It does that all the time. I always hear a lot of racket back in the car. I mean, for all I know, it could be my exhaust. You know, the little hangers up under there. But I think it took so long is because I think they replaced the racking when I finally threw a fit and went back. They told me it was done. The transmission was done, but the steering wheel noise was still there. If this guy would have just looked at the racking and the noises the first 3 times I brought it up there, you know, he probably would have been like, oh, okay, yeah, it's the racking, you know, that I just installed. It sucks I had to get the manager involved and all this stuff, but it turns out that my car was done like 2 weeks ago. It just sat there for some strange reason. I don't know why. It took me having to call Subaru America to get them involved. The manager, I guess, was on vacation for a little while, so, you know, that's probably why he didn't get my messages. But he did call me back this morning. He called me yesterday at work. He is a really good guy. I've talked to him a couple times before, a couple years ago. His name's Jason. Real big guy. Really cool dude. But he didn't have to take care of everything for me. I mean, yeah, he did. I mean, in a way, when I mean that, I mean, they should have done something. I mean, I don't live 5 minutes away, and I'm not going there for some dinky noise. I'm going there for realistic, you know, warranty work that they did that wasn't really necessarily their fault. It was a defect, but all the problems them giving me, or the mechanic telling me it's done, and I go all the way up there, the car's not done, I come back, they tell me it's done, I go back up there, I pick it up, I come back, there's more noises. So, you know, yeah, they should have done something. I really thought at the most they may have done like a free oil change or something like that. But I'm kind of glad in a way that I waited this long, because if I would have picked it up a week or two ago, I would have had to pay $700, and, you know, now I got out of it. Basically, Subaru America was going to pay, we were quoted $1,200 for everything, the whole transmission, new parts, clutch, everything like that, the internals, and they were going to pay most of it, and I only had to pay like $440. Again, I said in the previous videos, I think Subaru America should have paid for everything personally, because this was a defective part from the factory, the pressure plate, and it's not like I'm just now complaining about the noise. I've been complaining about the throttle bearing 4 times already. This is the 4th time they replaced the throttle bearing. So, yeah, Subaru America should have paid for everything, but I was happy with the $400. When I got a text from her telling me it was $800 in tax with taxes, I was like a little blown away. She told me basically it was a mess. She messed up and quoted the wrong price to them. Well, that's not my fault. I think I said that in previous other videos. I did call Subaru America back and talk to her, and she said there's nothing more on her end she could do. But she called the service advisor, and the service advisor said she would lower the price and put some discounts on there to kind of bring it down a little bit. I was fine with that. So I kind of thought I would have to pay around $500-600. So this manager, he thought that everything was, Subaru America was taking care of everything. As we were talking this morning on the phone, I said, nah, I'm not sure how much you know about the whole situation. I said, but they're paying a certain amount and I'm paying a certain amount. And he goes, well, I'm glad we talked and you told me that. He goes, because I told him the whole mix-up with the quoted price that was quoted wrong to me. He says, well, I'll make sure by the time you get here, you're going to pay the quoted price that was given to you a month ago, if not better. When he said that, I'm like, wow, I mean, what's he going to charge me, you know, $350, something like that? I text her, telling her I'm on my way there. I said, you know, talked for a few seconds, and she texted me back saying, there's no charge. Basically, they closed out the account. She took care of everything. So when I got off the phone with him, he basically must have went to her and said, hey, he's on his way up here today. You quoted him a wrong price. They probably talked a little bit. Yeah, we've had his car for a month. Go ahead and close it out. He doesn't pay a thing. I got there. I didn't pay a thing. I was given the keys, signed a paper, and that was it. And actually, the paper she gave me, it didn't even show the work they did on the transmission. It was just the It was just the second racking they installed. I know they installed the stuff on the transmission because you can tell it's completely different. It's smoother, it dries better. There's no squeakiness in the clutch pedal anymore. Knock on wood, I hope it lasts for a little while. I drive my car pretty decent, you know, decently safe. I don't launch it, so I'm really hoping I don't have any issues with the transmission anytime soon. I did get used to the clutch pedal on the way home. It did feel weird. Like when I would go to take off from a stop, it would, my zipper's down, sorry. I would push it, it would, basically the clutch pedal would go all the way down and I would have to kind of rev up a little higher to kind of take off. So, you know, it's just new. It's a different clutch. It's a thicker clutch from what I understand. But yeah, that's it. I'm gonna wash it tomorrow. They did wash it and detail it, but that was 2-3 weeks ago and it sat outside. So it's back. I did put it right onto E coming home with the gas, and I went ahead and got gas from a gas station I'm familiar with, and I parked it there and I walked across the street to AutoZone and I got a bottle for like $8 of oh god, what's it, the I'm gonna remember when I turn this video off, but to like help with knock and ping and stuff like that, for your gas. I can't, oh my god, it's the one that's got, it claims it has a little bit of jet fuel in it, and it's supposed to just help with an octane booster. God, why couldn't I think of that? So I didn't really get any knock or anything on the way home except for the normal knock you'd get with the AC, but because it sat so long and the gas was in there for so long, I filled this tank up in April. So April 15th is when I filled it up. So I drove there, they drove it around. The time I drove back, it was on E. So I definitely wanted to put some octane booster in there for the first. I've never used it in my life, so I don't know if it really does anything. We'll see. So I filled up with a half a tank and I put that in there. It says at least have a half a tank when you put that in your gas. So we'll see if it does anything. But for the most part, I'm going to do my spark plugs here in about a week and change my oil again. And we'll go from there. I'll do a video here in a couple days with the brake light. Because I never really did an actual video drive-by of the brake light. It does look good, the third brake light. And I'll keep you guys, up to date with how it's running. The steering wheel, though, I'll make a video on that. The steering wheel, God, it does look good right now. The steering wheel noise is gone. When I would go back and forth with it, you would hear that. I mean, you guys could see the previous videos. It was loud. It was annoying. I only get a small, little, kind of like the electronics, not electronics, like the, she called it something else, but this may sound stupid. She's something about like the power, just regular steering that you would get, electronic steering. I don't know if I'm explaining it right. The steering sounds you would get normally in a car. It's what I'm getting. It's normal stuff. So I'm getting just a little bit of that old sound that I had when I go to the left, but it's nothing like how it was before. So I'm sure some of that is normal. This is a 14 minute video. Sorry if you guys stuck around. If you did, thank you. Bye.